what if it is 0.5 of a second to hit the bottom from the moment you dive in, or 1 second or something? We know the exact time it takes to dive in before you bang yourself on the bottom of the pool. And he just thought that was it. But he said, my whole life went through. He said it was weird. He said, it's such a short time, but it really did. And what that suggests to me is that maybe at that moment where we think this is it, death is coming, this thing of the soul breaking free from the body, it now has broken free from having to experience in terms of the time of the brain, that the brain is processing information at a certain rate and experiences are happening at a certain rate, and that's the speed of time that we are used to living in our whole life. And then when the soul breaks free, then it's free to experience in at a completely different speed.
Really interesting. Yeah. Sort of leaps out of time temporarily.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or permanently if you then do die.
Right. But do you think that, back to this question of the relationship between mystical experience and the brain, do you think that all aspects of the mystical experience in some way have a correlate in the brain?
I suspect there will always be some sort of change in the brain, but that change in the brain will not account for the experience. So, let's just take a fictitious example. Suppose I'm in a very deep meditation, a deep state of silence, and then supposing from there I then voluntarily make the choice to enter what the Buddhists call one of the jhanic states of consciousness, where maybe it's that sense of great bliss, or that sense of, let's say just that sense of complete unboundedness, of just that sense of being infinite, of just infinite space, of being infinite space. Now, I would expect that transition of mind, that choice to go from that state of silence into that feeling of infinite unboundedness, I would expect my brain to reflect that. So there would be some shift in the brain. I do not think, though, that is something that we would be able to, the shift in the brain would say, this has caused that shift in consciousness.
Sure.
So I would always expect there to be some correlation, but I think when we get into this area, when we're really working at these very, very fine levels of consciousness, we are beginning to explore the nature of consciousness itself, rather than changing the content of the experience.
Right. Wow.